time something goes wrong, we like to panic. We like to freak out. We act like it's the end of the world. We all know about the story when Jesus turned water to wine. In case you don't know, Jesus was attending a wedding. Him and his disciples were attending a wedding, and at this time they were celebrating, drink wine. There would be plenty and plenty of wine, and if you run out of wine, it was like a big deal. It was like, yo, like we partying, that was just the Jewish customs at the time. At the wedding, like they ran out of wine. Jesus' mom realized, like, yo, we're about to run out of wine. Like, Jesus, fix something, like fix this. There's an issue, and what she did, she looked around and found Jesus. That is what we need to do. Every time something goes wrong, we look around and like panic, we freak out, we worry, and we do all these things and just go ballistic. And we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. We're freaking out, make unwise decisions. Sometimes when things go into panic mode, sometimes in life things go unexpected. Things that you can't plan for happen. Adversity happens. That's life, And when these things happen, we often sometimes either quit, we give up, we freak out, we kind of go into depression. Like, we don't know how to counteract the issues that come to us, right? So we have a plan to do something, and the plan seems to be running smooth, and you plan for everything to go a certain way, and then boom, something totally out of the ordinary happened. And you was like, whoa, I could not have planned for this. What we need to do is what Mary did. They did not plan to run out of wine. And what she did, she was smart. She was wise enough to know, I need to look and find Jesus. When things go wrong and your plans get shattered and life just throws you a curveball, look around and find Jesus, just like what she did. We must find Jesus in those moments, because when we look for Jesus, and in the typical Jesus fashion in this party, Jesus was so calm. He was in the midst of that. He was so calm. And then he was able to calm them down. When we look to Jesus, Jesus will calm us down. He's like, look, don't worry, don't panic, look, calm down. That is the first step. When we calm down and just stop stressing and just look to Jesus, because he's calm about it. When we look to him, now we have a certain calmness and peace about it. Okay, so that's the first step. Okay, so once we do that, now Jesus gives us instructions. We often don't know what to do. When life throws a curveball, we kind of stop right there. And because we don't know what to do, we don't plan for it. Jesus gave us instruction and wisdom on what to do. When things go unexpected, just look to Jesus, and he will calmly direct you on what to do, but he will also say, look, this is how to come about it. I know you didn't plan for me, but that's why I'm here. I'm gonna help you out. And what he told them was, the instruction he gave them was, fill the jars with water. Right? But look, Jesus, I know we supposed to be drinking wine at this party. Now, Jesus, you done had a few cups too. We supposed to be drinking wine at this party. Now, Jesus, so what you mean fill it up with water? Jesus? And when we're going through something, Jesus may tell us something that does not make sense. We think that the instructions and the plan, what he had, is gonna in our minds, gonna think how we thought it would be. Whatever he gonna say is gonna kind of match up with whatever we was thinking. Oh, you're right, Jesus. I was thinking that same thing. You're right. That's how I should come about it. And that's not the case. Whatever you may look to God for answers, and you may look for God how to come about a situation, but don't get upset and don't question God when what he tells you to do doesn't make sense to you. And that's why a lot of us don't follow God's instructions, because it don't make sense. Well, of course it's not gonna make sense, because God's ways are higher than our ways. We're just humans. We're just little bitty old humans. God created us. So in our minds, whatever we think, whatever instructions God give us might not make sense to us. But God's ways are higher than our ways. So you know what? It might not make sense to me. I don't see it right now, God. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're telling me to do in my life. You're telling me I'm faced with this problem. God, you're saying do this. I don't know how this matches up, but you know what, God? I'm gonna just trust you. God, your ways are higher than my ways. You're wiser than me. So God, I'm gonna just trust you. Trust God. Some of us are stuck and don't know what to do in life, know quite how to handle the situation or our circumstances, and God's been telling you do something. And because it doesn't make sense, we don't do it. But we get frustrated, like, no, God, tell me what to do, tell me what to do. He's like, I told you what to do. But that doesn't make sense. Come on, give me another answer. Come on, that must not be it. Look, it's not that God isn't telling you what to do. You don't want to follow it because it doesn't make sense to you. So you can't say that God didn't try to help you. You can't say God wasn't there for you. No, he's there. You just don't want to, it doesn't make sense to you, so you don't want to follow it. And what God told him, what Jesus told him was, he said, look, Jesus looked around and was like, all right, after you fill it up with water, and what he did was before he told him to fill up in water, Jesus saw that there was these stone jars, and they use these stone jars for like water. They were like these big stone jars for water, and they could hold 30 gallons. But like I said, these are water jars, and they're for stone. Like these aren't wine. Like this is not what you hold wine in. So Jesus looked around and was like, okay, bet, this is the plan. Fill those things up with water. And they did, and Jesus turned that water into wine. Nobody saw that coming. And this shows how good God is, because God can use what you have and do a mighty thing with it. A lot of times we're in a panic in a situation and we don't know how to get out of it. We honestly look around at our circumstances like, man, like I don't have the resources. I don't have the funds. I don't even have the network. I don't even know who to call. Like, God, I want you to give me out of the situation. But God, I don't even have nothing for you to help me get out of the situation. I don't even know how. Like, I have nothing. I have very little. Like, what could you do to help my very large problem? Can I tell you this? God doesn't need big things to do something, work a miracle in your life. What Jesus did, he took a very small thing and made a mighty thing with it. He took these stone jars, filled it up with water, and turned it into wine. Do you know that God can do the same thing? If you may feel like you are lacking, you don't have enough, you don't even have the resources. Do you know that God can take what you have and do a mighty thing with it? He can take your intelligence and do great things with it. He can take your resources and do a great thing with your small funds. He said, you know what, I'm gonna do a great thing with that. Your education, your background, all the things that you might feel like you don't have enough. You may feel inadequate, you may feel unworthy. He can take your unworthiness and say, you know what, I can work with that. I can work with that. I'm the creator of all things. I don't need much. I turn water into wine. I can surely do much with whatever you had. Like I said, I have turned water into wine. You don't think I can work with you feeling insecure, your doubts, your feeling of lack of education, your lack of money, your inabilities? If you don't think I can work with that? When you're in a panic, 1, look for Jesus. 2, trust his plan. It might not make sense. And 3, I can do mighty things with the little that you have.